Day 5, chest and back. Good morning. It is 3:31 and we're off to the gym. So today I wanted to talk a bit about chest. So you're gonna see in my videos, my exercise videos, that I'm gonna record some of my bench press today. And I'm gonna explain to you now the difference between your hand grips and the difference that it's going to make. And then you'll see in my content in the video that I make, you'll see me alternate grips, and then you'll have a better understanding of why. Okay, so on your bench press, when you take a standard grip, which would be just outside of shoulder length, that's going to hit the outer part of your chest. That's where you're a bit stronger. You can lift a little bit more. So I like to do 3 sets of those. Then I bring my hand, I take some weight off, first of all, because when you bring your hands in closer, it's important to take some weight off, because you're taking away a lot of the support of your shoulders and stuff like that, so you're not as strong. So when you bring the hands in closer, just inside shoulder width, just where your arms are about straight up and down, that's going to hit the inner chest. So when you bring those hands in for a close grip bench press, it's a compound movement, where, bench press is a compound movement in general, where you're hitting triceps, shoulders, and chest. Compound movements are when you activate more than one muscle at a time throughout a movement. When you bring those hands in for a closer grip on the bench press, it's really going to activate the triceps and the chest both, but it goes from the outer to the inner chest. So hand placements are very important with your workouts. It has all of the difference to do with what part of the muscle you're hitting. And when you're focusing on bodybuilding, that's the style that you're going with. You're going with that variety, where you change hand grips, you change exercises, because by doing these things, it hits different parts of the muscle. That's the whole point. The muscle has tons of parts to it. It's not just one part. So you can't just, when they say, so Arnold's theory was you got to alternate your routines, because he would say you got to shock the muscles. I get what he's saying, but I don't believe that theory. I don't think you can shock the muscles. The muscles don't have brains. They don't think. You can't shock them. They don't get scared and try and figure out what's going on. What it is, what I took from that, and I take some of what Arnold says and I leave some of what Arnold says. On that one, I kind of didn't go along, but I get what he was saying. In my opinion, you need to hit the muscle from a different angle. So you're shocking in the sense that you're not just hitting the same part of it every single time. You're now going to the other side of it, as per se when you bring your hands in for a closer grip and you're hitting a different part of it, which in a sense is shocking the muscle into growth, because it's not only hitting the outer but in the inner end. So that's kind of, I always thought that was kind of silly when he would say that, but hey, he's Arnold, whatever he says goes, right? He's the man. His encyclopedia is great. You get a lot of good stuff out of his encyclopedia. Somebody gave me his bodybuilding encyclopedia as a gift, and it's got a lot of useful knowledge, man. That encyclopedia is great. He's new to stuff, he's got a lot of different routines. His view on diet is great. Yeah, let's face it, it's Arnold. So, okay, back to chest. So on chest, I feel it's very important to, at the bottom of the movement, to really get the stretch. The stretch when it comes to a chest movement is very important. Same with back, but we're not talking about back. So chest is when you come down, like say on the bottom of your bench press, you don't want to just come down to almost to the bottom of your chest. You want to come down as far as your elbows will let you, so you feel that tension right there on the outer, in between your armpit and your chest muscle. You want to feel that tension, and you really want to give it a good, good little stretch, and then come up slow. And you can or you cannot contract at the top. There's debatable about that. I think like on bench press, they claim constant tension is better, so you wouldn't be contracting. dumbbells because on dumbbells, it really gives you that opportunity to stretch at the bottom because it doesn't limit you from going below your chest. So on dumbbells, you can really dip those elbows, stretch at the bottom, and get that stretch that I'm trying to teach you guys about. I do dumbbell flies. I don't do dumbbell presses. I prefer bench press, not because it's better. I would actually say, I mean, you can go heavier on a bench press. I think dumbbells are a better movement because of the ability to stretch and your free range of motion. You could really focus on the chest. When you do a barbell, it doesn't give you the ability to isolate your chest. It kind of allows other muscles to take over throughout the movement. So that's the difference with barbells. You can really isolate the muscle of the chest. Dumbbells, you can't. It kind of forces you to allow other muscles to take over, like your triceps or your shoulders, because you're using heavier weight too, so your other muscles kind of have to. But yeah, I mean, just remember the stretch. It's important, and remember to move slow. You know, it's not a race. The faster you go, the sloppier your movement's going to be, the less of benefit you're going to get from the exercise. You're not in a hurry. I'm in a hurry because I got to get to work, but I still go slow on my movements. It's important, especially on chest. You go fast and sloppy is not going to cut it. Your gains are going to be crap. No bouncing at the bottom off your chest. No, that's a no-no. You know, unless you notice people bounce it off the chest when they're doing some really heavy weight, because that's the only way they can get it back up. They have to bounce it. It's like, whoa. But no, that's cheating. That's taking the tension off the muscle. It's just to each his own, but to me it's wrong. So, yeah, so I kind of just wanted to talk about that today. You know, another day we'll go over flies. So for my chest exercises, I do 4. Most of my exercises I do 4, not counting the dips that I do at the end. At the very end, I like doing body weight movements for back and chest. So I'll do dips at the end, and then I'll throw in pull-ups. It's a great way to just burn out at the end. So after everything's done, you say, all right, muscles, all right, chest, here we go. I'm just gonna beat you down one last time before we go and get out of this place. And it seems to work for me. I mean, body weight movements are very important. They're more high repetition, but it's just as important as the weight movements. So I do two press movements and 2 fly movements for my chest days, which is just 4 exercises, like I said, not including the dips, which will make it 5, as opposed to, say, when I was doing one body part once a week as opposed to twice. I was doing 7 to 8 movements, 7 to 8 exercises in a day, because I wasn't going to hit it until the next week. Seeing as that I hit it twice a week, I could actually do less exercises. So you're doing the same amount of volume, but you're splitting it into 2 times a week. It really works for me. It really seems to work. I think if you try it, I was skeptical too, because I was so dead set on thinking that once a week was the best, because that's how everybody does it that's big. And I kept hearing people talk about it. The one that really convinced me was Peter Kitcherian. He really gets into the science. He's old school, but he really gets into the science behind it. And you know what? He said it, and I was like, you know what? This guy really knows what he's talking about. I'm going to give it a try. I'm going to step outside of my comfort zone and give it a try. And not to mention, it's one of Arnold's splits as well. So I tried it. I was amazed. I don't know if I'll ever go back. Maybe if I want to maintain, I'll go back to the other routine. But I'm really happy with the routine that I've got going on with the split throughout the week. It's just a lot more fast-paced, a lot more advanced for sure. You got your push-pull routines. You could do a split with the push-pull as well. You could do push one day, legs one day, pull one day, off. Push one day, legs one day, pull one day, off. That's the other option if you prefer push-pull. I did a lot of push-pull when I was a beginner. I feel like that's a beginner movement. No offense if that's your routine. That's just not my flavor. I don't feel like I'm getting enough on the push-pulls for some reason. So, yeah, that's just my opinion. Push-pull is a great routine. I do I do recommend it to a lot of people. Usually they're beginners, because it's a good way to really get that the basics and the knowledge in when you're a beginner. Yeah, well, I still got about another 20 minutes till I get to the gym. So another 10 minutes, I'll drink my No Explode, my pre-workout, get all fired up. My 600 milligrams of caffeine. Woo. Talk about a way to get the morning started. That'll get the blood flowing. Yeah, go get to the gym, get this workout in, stay strong, stay hardcore, and just let's go kick some butt in the gym. It's 5:21. We're ready for meal number one. This morning I picked Eggos, so they're 4 chocolate chip Eggos with syrup. That's going to be meal number one. Meal number two at 8 a.m. is cottage cheese and peaches. That's one of my favorites. Remember, when you portion out the cottage cheese, make sure you do a generous amount because you want to get those calories. So don't skip on the cottage cheese. Put a pretty generous amount in there. I like to drain the peaches before I add them, because if you don't, the syrup's going to make it too sweet and it's going to make it real watery. So just drain out the juice before you add the peaches. That makes for a really good second meal. I really like that one. Cottage cheese is one of the old school bodybuilding tips that they used to use back in the 70s. That's one of the big go-tos for them. They did a lot of steak, chicken, veggies. Cottage cheese was one of the favorites back then. So that's where I got that one from. I really like it a lot. We'll do today we're doing a little bit late of a lunch because they're providing lunch for us here at work. So it's probably not going to be until about 12. And I won't be posting it because there's going to be other people around. But yeah, so that's meal number one, 4 Eggos, syrup. And then at 8 o'clock, we'll do our meal number two, cottage cheese and peaches. So it's about 5 o'clock in the evening and we're going for our fourth meal. Today we're going to do quesadillas with corn tortillas. And so corn tortillas are actually a really good source of carbs. So if you're looking, obviously if you're dieting down, you want to go easy on the tortillas. They could really do you dirty. But if you're trying to bulk up, tortillas are a really good source of carbs. It's actually one of John Meadows' favorites. I don't know if you know who John Meadows is. He was a really famous bodybuilder and an older gentleman. He was considered an influencer, but he was also a personal trainer. He did his list of favorite carbs, and tortillas were his #1 favorite source of carbs. My personal favorite is pasta. That's what we're having for dinner, spaghetti with meat sauce, one of my favorite dinners. So I'll be plenty carved up. If you know anything about building muscle, you know carbs and protein are what you really need to build muscle. Vegetables are important too for your fibers and your vitamins and your minerals, but you really got to load up on carbs and protein. That's the sure way to build muscle. Obviously carbs are important because it fills those muscles full of glycogen. Glycogen is really what makes your muscles, gives them that full look and full feeling. So the more carbs you can take in when you're on a bulk, the better. And like I said, tortillas are a great source of carbs, so I'm going to eat 4 of these quesadillas, and that's going to be meal number 4. We'll have meal number 5 a little later. And it's dinner time. Here we go with some pasta and meat sauce, spaghetti and meat sauce, one of my favorites. Love me some spaghetti and meat sauce. Love me some pasta. So we'll get this meal in, we'll get cleaned up, get to bed, get some rest, and what a great day it was. Yeah, stay strong, keep it hardcore.